Welcome to 2026 first episode of Let's Look at the League. I'm Lawrence Mangenje. Of course, back from the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, where I was doing coverage for the continental spectacle, which is ongoing currently, but of course without the Warriors. Marinica's charges for the sixth time of asking, failing to progress to the knockout stage of the continental spectacle. A 2-1 defeat to Egypt in the first game of Group B, followed by a 1-1 draw with Angola, and then a very, very disappointing 3-2 defeat to neighbors and rivals South Africa in the last group game. Zimbabweans are still talking about it. People have not forgiven the Warriors for failing to progress to the knockout stages of the continental spectacle, particularly in the context of Tanzania being able to qualify with just 2 points. So what that simply means is, if the Warriors had drawn against South Africa, they would have progressed to the knockout stages for the first time. But that didn't happen. 3 very, very crucial mistakes, if you ask me, from senior players resulted in the defeat. A lot of reaction, a lot of mixed opinions. Of course, opinions are like noses and everybody has one. Everyone has got an opinion in terms of what really went wrong in terms of that result. What went wrong? Did South Africa deserve the win? Did the Warriors deserve the win? Should we have done better? What could we have done better is the question. We conceded first, somewhat a heavy deflection of Divine Lunga. We equalized through a very brilliant goal from Tawanda Maswanisi, arguably the best goal in the tournament so far. And then South Africa came back, restored their advantage rather. Another mistake, Divine Lunga, Washington Arubi, some feel we should have done better, but well, it went in. And then we restored parity again. Some good work in the box from Tawanda Maswanisi, but then the ultimate incident, that penalty, which was conceded by Captain Marvelous Nakamba. Somewhat very, very unfortunate, Mistakes do happen. It is sport, it's part of the game. But Zimbabweans, due to their unforgiving nature, still criticizing, blasting the England-based Warriors captain, that he should have done better on that particular occasion. He has apologized. Of course, we brought the video. He has apologized. He was very, very remorseful about the mistake, talking about it being a game. But look, as Zimbabweans are not even giving in a chance to that apology. Could he have done better? Isn't it a sport? What is it that was supposed to be done? Should Zifa have perhaps employed a psychologist for Mavi immediately after the game? Because look, it's a team sport. Mistakes do happen. But what's next? What is it that Zifa ought to have done better? Who knows? Anyway, in terms of Zifa, everybody knows. The question is what's next. Here is Warriors coach Mario Marinica talking about what it is that needs to be done heading forward.
I think in a way, you see, they have to be the backbone of Chan, they have to be backbone of Kosafa, they have to be backbone of probably next AFCONs. So we need to start building from that, because basically if you are to look players like Prosper, like back home is another young gem. I saw it and I liked Hute. Also if you look now, Chakuchichi, he didn't phased out yet. He played only 5 minutes, but he still he was okay, I think. And had a slight chance to be there. So if you're to look, we have Chirewa, we have Maswanise, we have so many young players. If you're to look, Mauchi as well. So we have a bunch of young players which actually can build on, having also some experienced legs around them and some experienced head. We could look to build on something. I think we are at the moment on up, and I do believe that we have a great future.
Let's talk about the future.
That was Warriors coach Marinica talking about reviewing the tournament, answering the what's next question. He reckons young players are the way to go in terms of the future of the Warriors. By young players, of course, we are talking about the 2 Tawandas, Maswani Sechirewa. We're talking about Jonah Fabish. We had a brilliant tournament, if you ask me. The Emmanuel Jalais, the Munashe Garangangas. What's next? What needs to be done as far as the Warriors is concerned? The Tadiwa Chakuchichis. Talking about Chakuchichi, he was the youngest player at the tournament. That's a record day. He had a golden opportunity to restore parity for the Warriors against South Africa, but unfortunately, he took his time and it wasn't to be. But let's hear from Chakuchichi in terms of being the youngest player at the tournament.
The feeling is really special, I won't lie. Being the youngest player,
it was really special for me, and I really enjoyed it. You know, getting my chance at 16 years old just makes me want to push harder.
When that chance fell to you, right at the death, what went through your mind?
This whole day, I just imagined scoring. Like, that was on my mind. I was just like, no matter what happens, no matter how many mistakes, I just need to score. So when it came, I was just like, I need to score this opportunity, but it didn't fall my way. So I'm a bit disappointed about that.
That was Warriors and Scotland star Tadiwa Chakuchichi, who was the youngest player at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations finals in Morocco. He talked about his experience and what he learned there. He had a golden opportunity to restore parity for the Warriors against South Africa in the last group game, which the Warriors ultimately lost 3-2. But he took his time and couldn't pull the trigger on time, and it wasn't to be. Look, debate has been raging on and on all platforms of social media. The debate can go on until the cows come home. But the million-dollar question is, what is it that we are doing wrong as a country? Because we have participated at the Africa Cup of Nations on 6 occasions, during which we have failed to progress to the knockout stages of the continental spectacle. We first went to the finals in 2004, and then we were there in 2006, and then we were there in 2017 in Gabon. We were there again in 2019 in Egypt, and then, of course, we were there in the 2021 edition in Cameroon. So this was overall the 6th appearance for the Warriors at the continental showpiece, but they failed to progress to the knockout stages. What is it that needs to be done? The Warriors have at some point played brilliantly, even against Egypt. African powers, Egypt, they acquitted themselves well. They took the lead at the courtesy of Prince Dube. As a matter of fact, Prince Dube is the only player who managed to breach the Egyptian defense in the group stages of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations, to the point that even Manchester City star Omar Mamouche was very, very complimentary of the way the Warriors played. I had a chance to speak to him. Let's hear what Mamouche had to say about the Warriors.
Lawrence from Zimbabwe, English. You said the game was a very tough game. What is it that Zimbabwe did the most to make the game difficult for you guys?
I think from the first minute they were there, they were pressing, they were running in the depth, and they were running behind our defense and just making it hard for us. Also, every starting game of the AFCON is always not the easiest because it's the first game in the tournament and you still don't have your rhythm, but we are very happy that we won in the end, and now our focus is on the next game. Last question.
Well, that was Manchester City and Egypt star Omar Mamouche talking about how difficult the Zimbabwe-Egypt game was at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. So sometimes we do play well. We play well, we score goals. This team has been scoring, as a matter of fact. The Warriors have scored in each and every single game that Marinica has taken charge of. But still, the results are not coming. So what is it that we need to do? What is it that we need to do? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to this so that you'll be fully aware when the next video comes up. But look, as Zimbabweans, what is it that we need to do? As a football-loving nation, are we good enough? Are we as good as we claim? That would be the million-dollar question. Thank you so much for watching. That was this week's episode of Let Us Look at the League.